Happy Friday. I just realized I didn't turn my light on, but does it really matter? Hi. Hey, Lorna. Hey, Izzy. Hey, everybody. Good evening. Happy Friday, everyone. It's Stitch and Crime. It is Friday night crime. It is crochet and crime. It is knit and crime, coffee and crime, all the things in crime. How is everybody tonight? My voice is still a little not quite all together. Patty is here. Hello, Patty. Good to see you. Suzanne is hooked. Yes, she is, and she's hooked on crime too. Glad you're here. Leanie is here. Did she say whether she was... Oh, she came early to get a good seat. All right. I did not see Rosie. Was Rosie in here early? I said hi to her, though. There's Adele. She's going to be listening. Gracie is off with the grandkids. Yes, I remember she mentioned that. And thank you, Adele. Let me play the song for you. All right. Thank you, all my members. Thank you to all of you guys for being here. There's Joan. Hello, Joan. How's it going? Pam is here tonight. I see you put your name on the end of that. I like it. Patty is here. Yes, I'm a little bit better. I'm not 100%, but I'm a little better. Tank's not hollering. She has to be able to see the chat, and I understand, Tank. It's okay. We're going to give you some grace for sure. And there's Tamara, my Oklahoma buddy. I am so glad you are well and safe too. So glad. I've been worrying about you too with all these storms and stuff. Yeah, we're not completely well. I felt better yesterday than I do today, but I did not want to miss again tonight. I just didn't want to miss it again. So can you guys let me know? Hopefully when I get down there, you can let me know that you can hear me okay, because I'm not going to be able to talk a whole lot louder than that. Laura's doing some shit, she said. She'll be here in a minute. And there's Mimi. I'm so glad you made it. Yay. And Joan is here. We all understand. We sure do. Making my way down to you. Yeah. Yes. Hello, everyone who's watching out there in the attic. I love all of y'all too. I know you don't always chat, but I know you're here. I see you and I appreciate you very, very much. Lorna, good to see you. How are things going for you? Yep, and there's Izzy. Did I miss anybody? I'm getting there. Maribel. Hey, Maribel. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Sally Birch. How's it going? She's waving her pink hand. That's what it says here. That's always what it says on my screen. I know it's not what it says in y'all's chat, but that's what it says on mine. Waving the pink hand. Whoop, whoop. She's using the emojis. What's she doing? What is that one? That is my PayPal. I don't want to forget to say this here close to the front because I will forget it. But I do have a Ko-fi account. There are memberships now on my Ko-fi account if you are interested. I don't have anything really there until I see some people coming into it. And the only reason I mention it is because I don't lose as much through that. It's just another way to support me if you guys want to. And the only reason I do that is because you guys say that you want to. Because I'm okay. I'm okay, y'all. Arati, it's good to see you. Yeah, more emojis. Shape face, red heart, shape face, red heart. It sounds funny when you say it that way. Lori, oh, happy Friday. Is it chilly in Indiana? Indiana, Indiana. Beck made it. Whoa. Yeah, I'm so glad you made it today. How are you, my friend? Awesome. There's Kathy. How are you tonight, Kathy? Good to see you. I bet you have cold weather still. You seem to have the cold weather. Ooh, Ellie got a Ellie, when you see this, you got a membership and it was donated by Tank. Tank, thank you so very much for gifting that. Here, let me play the do. We got to get some. Where is he? We're gonna do some flashy. Thank you so much for that. Oh, I'm getting better at switching these screens out. That is so kind of you. Hello, Rosie. She said she was first, so it must have been up there high where I didn't see it. There's a few of the times where when I come into Restream, people have chatted, and if it's before I open the Restream, I may not see those chat. They're there, but I may not see it. Oh, you like my shirt? Yep, it's me. Ish. Thank you. You got hit. I'm so sorry. I hope everything's okay. At the DMV for one of the IDs, your back is not happy. I can understand that. Oh, did you see our friend? You were waiting 4 hours? Sorry. I'm so sorry, Joan. Hey, there's Stephanie. Okay, you have a great night. Go team. I'm not sure who it is. Okay, y'all are saying you can hear me. Hey, there's Invita. Yeah, good to see you tonight. Yeah, we're still getting the wind too off and on, but it hasn't been as bad. Craziness. This wind just does not want, it doesn't want to give it up. It had too much fun the other day. Sharon, good to see you, Sharon. Thank you. I think it's just going to take time. Mr. Fiber has been coughing and he's just worn out from coughing. He's got that coughing that doesn't want to let up. Thrifty, hi there. Good to see you. And Danina's here too. Good to see you. My Canadian friends are here. So happy to see you. I'm getting there. Yeah, what kind of a day did y'all have today? I hope you had a good one. I hope y'all didn't have to sit there and get your back hurting like Joan. Good God. Why'd they make them sit there that long? Sure. Today I've been watching some videos on meal prepping. You worked from home. That'll throw you off, won't it? Wow, they both sound good. We had pizza. We've switched to a different kind of pizza. Uh, yeah, send them over. Everybody wants some. Beck's closer. She's going to get some. I know she is. She's closer. Thank you for reminding me, Thrifty. If you would like to drop your channel, put the word teal, T-E-A-L, to drop your channel. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate that. Hi, Jan. How are things in Alaska? Is it starting to warm up at all for you? So glad you're here hanging out with us. I need to come over and see what you're up to. Gonna retry it? Did you make one already, or do you mean you want to do it again, like start over kind of thing? I'm fixing to show you the new stitch for tonight. Yes. Wow, am I a long way off? Or am I getting there? Okay. There's Bridget. Hey, Bridget. How's it going? Y'all need to go see Bridget too and see her little Aria. She's just as cute as she can be. She's a snuggler, let me tell you. Still have snow. Starting to melt. Oh, I know at some parts of Canada got hit, and you guys had like what, 15 feet or something like that in some parts of Canada. Does he relate? He can relate to my adultish. Yep, here they come. Hello, hello, hello. Well, that is for sure. You're you are not wrong about that. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's sweet. Well, thank you. You tell Kendra thank you for me. Are y'all following? You dyed yarn. Mhm. Fiddle yarn. Another limited edition that I'll probably have to have. Oh, see, and that's kind of what we haven't had any precip with it. Okay, the talking. So that's what I mean. But yeah, you should have invited Beck. Now she's going to go, ooh, homemade. I'm wanting to do homemade pizza with sourdough, and I just haven't done it yet. I have the recipe. Chelsea's done it. Came out good, but I'm wanting to do it. Ooh, 51 in the sun. Oh, it is going to be weird, isn't it? You're gonna be like sock doing like the sock skating in there on your new floor. Hi, Roseanne. Yay. I'm so glad you more pink hand waving. Yay. I know what that pink hand looks like. It doesn't show up on here. Oh my gosh. Stop it. Okay, y'all go over to her Etsy, Nipper Brains Designs on Etsy. We may have to go shopping. Nisi, how are you doing? How's Montana? How's Big Sky? She's starting over. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry you had to start over. That sucks. well, that's nice. You got to get out and go to lunch. Ooh, I'm so glad. Yeah, I want to do it. I have some I've been freezing the discard so that I can just to pull it out anytime, set it out on the counter, feed it, and get it ready to go. Yeah, been freezing them, little sourdough pucks of discard. Thank you, Arity. Okay, there's a Jen. Are you saying Jen or Jill? If there's a Jen, hello. Did I miss somebody? You know I hate to miss anybody. Oh, who's that? Who's that? Tammy. Hi, Tammy. I saw you in another chat somewhere. I'm glad to see you. Glad you came in. Sock skating. Good idea. You know, if you do it in front of the kids, they're all going to want to do it. Just saying. The Fathead pizza. That's one of them I had not tried, but I hear it's damn good. I got her patterns, all of them. I want to try them all. What did you think? What did you think, Deneen? I saw that video that's out there about somebody that we all know, and I said, you know what? Let me go check those patterns out. Just saying. So I went and ordered them. If you know, you know. I'll be doing a review. That's what I did. I bought a silicone mold just for that. I have a whole bag full of them. Annie, you finally here. Yay. How are you? It says adult-ish. And I got all my knives and my cleaver on tonight. Oh, fun, fun. You be careful. Be careful. Look at that. Look at that. I knew you were going to say that. Did you see her newest video after the debacle? Y'all don't know. I'm going to do a review. Y'all will see. You'll see. Hi, Bonnie. Uh-huh. Exactly. There's Liz too. Hey, Liz. Wow, we got so many great people in here. Did I make it? I made it down to the bottom. Okay, so you went by the pattern a 7.5. Okay. Mary Webb, hey, how are you feeling? I'm so glad you're here. All right, let me show you where I'm at on the blanket and what our stitch is. Hold on. Here is the blanket. Here I am. So I did get started on this stitch. So I need to tell you guys what this is before I get any farther. I'm going to show you how to do this stitch. Okay. So when you do the stitch, you yarn over, you go into the same stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, go through 2, yarn over, go to the next stitch, pull up a loop, go through 2, and now you have 4. You pull through all 4 and you do a single. There is probably a name for this stitch, but I do not know what it is. And I painted my nails. I used Olive and June saltwater taffy. This is saltwater taffy. And I used Besties for the polka dots. It's crime night, Liz. Tonight is crime night, and we're doing a scrap and crime blanket. I used my dotting tool to dot that on, and then I used Pixie is the top coat. So that's the took me back to my hairdressing days. Okay, now I am going to pull. I showed y'all once, but hold on. So for some people it takes forever and it's boring. That's why I want to do crochet ones, because the knit takes me forever. That's good to hear. I'm just so glad to hear that. I don't know, Thrifty, because the book that I got this out of is the one I did, the last washcloth I did, and it doesn't tell you what they are. There's no name on there for the stitch. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull it out. I know you're going to say, do what? Because I need to go over what I did. So this is the Scrap in Crime blanket. And we're using scraps or whatever you want to use. You don't have to follow what I'm doing. But if you put your pictures in the Facebook group or you email them to me, then you get an extra entry into our prizes. So the last stitch we were doing was the double crochets. I do, Izzy. I saw yours earlier. So here's double crochets. I went all the way through with the gray, and then I did it in this purple. And then when I got up here, I did a row of half doubles with the gray, just one row, before I started the new stitch. And then with the new stitch, I did a chain of 2. And then you go into the same stitch right below that chain to start the stitch, and you pull up a loop, you yarn over, and you pull through 2. Now you have 2 loops here. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop and go through 2. Now you have 3. Yarn over and go into the next, go through 2, and now you have 4 loops, and you go through all 4 and you do a chain 1. And then for the next stitch, you go back into the same stitch, and you do that all the way across. So you yarn over and you go into that same stitch that you just ended in, pull up a loop and go through 2. And then we're going to go into the next 2. So it's the same stitch and the next 2. Yarn over, pull up a loop, go through 2, yarn over, go into the next stitch. Now we have 4 loops, go through all 4 and chain 1. And we do that all the way across. This one is very melodic, if you know what I'm trying to say. It's melodic, and you just kind of wave across. I don't even know what it's called. That could be. Did you ask me a question, Izzy? Did I miss a question by you? I don't always see them on Friday night for some reason. I go through them, and then when I start doing something, I don't always see the comments, but it's not on purpose. Do you want me to show you one more time, you guys? I'll show you another time. Okay. So you're going to yarn over and you're going to go into the same stitch, the one you just ended in. Go into that same one, yarn over and pull up a loop, and now you have 3 there, right? Go through go through 2. Now you got 2 loops left. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, go through 2. Now you have 3 loops left. Go into the next stitch, go through 2. Now you have 4 loops left. Go through all 4 and then do a chain 1 to cinch it. Now, I don't know about starting chain. I know that we did, I meant to bring my little notebook over here. Let me grab it and tell you what we started with. I don't know if anybody remembers what our starting chain was. There's a stupid little gnat in here. We started with 144, so it was an even number. There is a post in I did put it on my community post. There's one where we were up until today. But I started with 144. So I would suggest if you were doing 193, you may have to, when you start this, you would have to either go over and do another half double and then start the stitch, or do an extra half double when you get to the other end. That would be my suggestion to make it work out, if you don't have an even number of stitches. But it did work for me. Well, actually, I haven't gotten to the other end. Hi, Connie. Good to see you. Are you painting tonight? Okay, are y'all ready to start on our crime stuff? Where we left off, and I will put the instructions in another post, you guys. Okay, where did we leave off? We are doing Murder in the Bayou by Ethan Brown is the book. There is a documentary, and I'm trying to fill you in mostly from the documentary because it's a little bit more, it's not as long. There's not as much information. And the last time, I think what we talked about was that 17-year-old Brittany Gary was missing. And at that point, we had 6 dead girls. And then her mother, I think we talked about her mother. And I remember now what I was going to tell you last week. And that was that Brittany's mother reminded me of Mary. And she's not the only one in this area that are advocates. There are several. There are friends, there are sisters, there are mothers. There are so many women, especially women from this area, that are advocates for these victims, even to this day, because even to this day, they have not gotten justice. Oh, you painted last night. Okay, I got to turn on my air and see if I can get some cool air. I'm hot. I don't know why. I've got the other air conditioner on, but it's cooler outside than that air conditioner is set for. We'll try this one, see if maybe having it closer to me. Hopefully it's not too noisy. Because it's 60 out there, but I don't know what it is in here. I'm trying not to shake this camera, y'all, and I'm sorry if I do. Yeah, I don't know if it's because I threw away some banana peels earlier. I don't know why the fruit flies are there. Ooh, it's 8 o'clock, y'all. Hold on. I'm gonna let you look at my yarn for a minute, and then I need to know. I will come back and check the chat in a minute. Um, but I need to know how far you got. How many of you have seen the book? Have read any of the book? How far you are? I know Annie was almost finished, and I know a couple more of you had read the book. But I'm interested to see if there's anybody else. Is it time, Bubby? Come on, let's go. I know Dad's sleeping, isn't he? Okay, well, go get it. Where is it? Thank you for your patience, y'all. I took my phone with me so you wouldn't have to hear my alarm. Okay. Whew. I'm back. Hi, Tina. Hi, Debbie. Okay, and Jolene, is Jolene here? Jolene, Jolene, Jolene. Okay, now what? You put apple cider vinegar in a saucer bowl. Huh, I'll try it. I thought about getting the Zebos. My daughter has those, and they work pretty good for that stuff. My dad has them too. Hi, Tina. Okay, Annie did finish it. Okay. I thought you said you were getting close. Okay, well, maybe it's just a thing. Cool. You read the book and okay, so that's cool. Hi, Suzanne. Glad you came in. Glad you're here. Rosie's going back to crocheting. Okay, there's Jolene. Good to see you. Okay, Joan said she's about 2/3 of the way through. Interesting. The book, not so much. You got more from the docuseries. The docuseries was just easier to follow. Was much easier to follow. And there's Debbie. Yeah, trivia night was fun. You're welcome. Good to see you. I got them for my daughter, hoping it would help in Louisiana because she has they have the termites so bad. I know you're gonna be able to tell this, but I messed up my nail putting the junk in services, putting all that junk in services green toy. So I'm gonna have to go back and fix it. Okay, so I'm gonna read my notes. And then we have some stuff to catch up on, some crime stuff to catch up on too, y'all. But I have a hard time keeping up with chat when I read my notes. So here we go. November 4th of 2008, Brittany Gary walks 6 blocks to Jennings Family Dollar. She is seen on the camera. They have a video of her on the um, camera in the store, and is the last time she is seen is on that camera. Her mother, Teresa Gary, starts calling her, and there is no answer. She keeps calling. She doesn't understand. She never not tells anybody where she's going, no matter what. And she always either texts or something. And she does not answer her phone. So after after calling everyone and talking to everyone, and no one is seems to be worried about this, but her mother knows something is wrong. But it takes 4 days until finally she starts putting up flyers. Then they do eventually they start to have search parties that look for her on foot. And her mother arranges everything. I mean, nobody else is helping her. The local newsman interviews her, but other than that, there's really not anything going on. They finally get these search parties going, and they're looking and looking. And on the second weekend, a body is found with tattoos that match Brittany's. So on the 15th of November, that's when they finally found her. She went missing on the 4th. That was the last time when she was seen on the video, and then she was found on the 15th. She had been beaten to a point where she was not identifiable. She had been, and all of these girls, when they were found, it took a while to find all of them. Some of them were found, but obviously had gone missing around the same time as the other girls because they were all very much decomposed. Remember me talking about the Reverend who actually said that he would perform the funerals for them because nobody wanted to perform those funerals? His name was Stacy Pollard. He performed Brittany's funerals, and then he performed the other some of the other girls' funerals. Um, if you do watch the docuseries, there's an interview in there where he says someone comes to him and says, "I have nobody to bury her because nobody will do it because they said that she just was she was nobody. She was nobody." And he was very vocal, and he said these girls were someone's children. These girls were someone's friend. These were, some of them were mothers. They were granddaughters. They were sisters. They were somebody. It was really quite an interview if you get a chance to see it. And I believe it's on, is it Paramount? I believe it's Paramount. Now, Ricky Edwards is in an interview with local newsman Scott Lewis. Um, Ricky Edwards, who was the sheriff at the time for Jennings, told Scott Lewis, who was the local newspaper man, that his article that he wrote is what got Brittany killed. And he said it hit him really hard. But the only article that he could think of that he had written at any time frame close to when Brittany was found was an article about a bank account set up by an investigator to find answers about the girls. And he said, I don't see how that could in any way have gotten her killed. So that was strange. But if you have listened to the book, there is information in there where that makes just a little bit of sense. Now, Ricky Edwards, December 18th of 2008, he holds a press conference announcing the formation of a task force. Now, this sounds like a good thing, right? There's going to be a task force with 8 different agencies, including the FBI, the Attorney General's office, local, state, and federal agencies, all going to be helping with the investigation. According to Ricky Edwards, they interview more than 200 people with information in regard to these deaths. They also have a tip line they put together That tip line is no longer active, which is interesting because they're not, they've not, it's not been solved. I've got my Texas cup tonight. And I've got my Louisiana coffee, French vanilla community coffee. The families of the victims are at a press conference Ricky Edwards holds about the formation of this task force. And they are questioning Edwards repeatedly because they want to know why they have not been contacted. So now it is on film that the families are upset. It's huge. There's the it's more of a story that the families are upset than it's a story about the task force, because they say they had not gotten any information about their loved ones. They were not able to see their loved ones before they were buried. They were not allowed to view their bodies. I mean, that would be hard because you wouldn't even know if it was them or not. I mean, and that was not in all instances, but some of them. Hi, Vanessa, and hello, everyone. Film Rise, YouTube for free. Okay. She says you can find it on YouTube for free. People say that the hotline was, so people were calling the hotline that they set up, and they were not able to tell their stories. They would get cut off. They would tell them they'd get back to them, and they would never get to tell them the information they were wanting to give. They kept getting turned away from the hotline. On August 19th of 2009, now the press conference was in December of 08. Now we're in August of 09, and there's another body. And this body is found on the side of I-10 in Acadia Parish, which is a parish close to the Jeff Davis Parish. And this one is a girl named Nicole Guillory. Now, I want y'all to remember this name. It's important, this name. It's also important that Nicole knew she was in danger. Nicole fought and told people she was in danger, that she would be next. Barbara Guillory believed that more than one person, she said that Nicole told her more than one person was involved in these killings. Okay, Tamara, thank you. And she also said, before her death, she said the police were involved in the killings. Then Ricky Edwards, the sheriff, begins talking about a serial killer. You know, now he's saying, he's said things like they had a serial dumper. The story of these deaths goes national. Towards the end of 09, investigative journalist Ethan Brown who wrote the book we're talking about and in some way directed the documentary, read an article by New York Times journalist Campbell Robertson, and he begins to look into the cases. And that happened, just so you know, that happened 2 years after the last murder. And that would have been in 2011. So that's when Ethan Brown got involved. Okay. Just want to give you some perspective there. Now, as a journalist, his take on this was that it's not likely a serial killer. For one thing, the way he saw it, these victims knew each other. They were all running the same circles. They all knew each other, and they all shared a pimp, Frankie Richard. There were too many things that did not fall into line with what, if profilers were looking at this, it wouldn't fall in line with the serial killer. Then we have something that comes to Ethan Brown's attention after he spoke to the journalist Scott Lewis, the local journalist, about a man named Warren Gary, not related to the victims. Warren Gary buys a 2006 Chevy Silverado from a woman named Connie Seiler. Connie Seiler was an associate of Frankie Richard. Witnesses talked about how Kristen had been riding in a silver Chevy Silverado prior to her death. Warren bought the truck and washed the truck out. An investigator for the sheriff's department found out about this from people on the street. Hello, Dimitri. This came from a tip, like I said, from the Jennings Daily News reporter in the summer of 2007, where someone told him that he needed to look into Warren Gary. Now, Warren Gary does get fired. He gets fired and he gets fined $10,000 for profiting from potential crime evidence. But instead of this turning into anything to help in this case, Warren Gary gets put in charge of the evidence locker. Now, y'all, this thing is deep, okay? I know the book can be very hard at times to follow, but you have to kind of bring this like thread through as you're listening or reading the book. There's like a thread running through it. You're like, I don't know why this is important, but it's going to come together later. That kind of thing as you're reading it. Okay? So, not only were people paid off, I want you guys to know this is like my 4th time listening to the book. I've also listened to podcasts. This is my 3rd time listening to the documentary. This thing is so deep and there is so much corruption. It reminds me again of Lisk. because we had a corrupt police chief in Long Island that dampened all of the any kind of, I think we've got it. Oh, we may have a bee, you guys. Where'd he go? If we do, somebody is going to holler here in a minute. I'm just warning y'all. Did I miss something, Annie? So it's really hard for me to write notes down about this because I'd almost need a flow chart. Just like everything happened in Long Island is just like down here. And here's the thing that was going on the most: the sex and the money, but the drugs. If you keep in mind that I-10 was right there, and just everything with all the corruption exploded with I-10. And it was not just Jennings. It was also in these neighboring parishes. And you actually had law enforcement that was coming from other parishes and then coming to work in Jennings. And they had been in trouble in the other parishes. And then they get in trouble in Jennings. And then they go off to another parish. Or like this guy, he gets fined. He gets fined $10,000, and they put for profiting from crime evidence, and they put him in charge of the evidence. That's just one example of how deep this is. And law enforcement's excuse was that Warren didn't know at the time that the vehicle possibly had been used in a crime. That's what they claimed. So it gets even deeper after this, you guys. Just saying. And I may not cover all of it. If you know this case or you've listened, and I am dyslexic and I don't retain everything very well. I really have to work at this. Law enforcement was saying they did not match evidence or statements in their records. And there's supposedly a relationship between Warren Gary and Frankie Richard. That those two things were just, we're just not really 100% on that. Then we have two women. I got to take my medicine. Hold on, y'all. Oh, thank you. It is a struggle. I just want y'all to know it is a definite struggle. It's like when what? I know. And I don't even know. I haven't even gone back to read anything on that yet. We can talk about that in a minute if you want to. Don't let me forget. It's possible. It's so possible that that is part of it. But I don't think that's all of it either. I think it's several things here. I don't think it's any one thing. And keep in mind, a serial killer usually they do change their MO, but there are certain things that stay the same with a serial killer. And several of these girls had, well, at least a couple of them had their throats cut Most of them were asphyxiated and then just left in a ditch or water or on the hill. And the one who was left on the hill off the interstate, it had to have taken more than one person to get her there. There is no way that one person walked up a hill with her across his shoulder and then threw her down. That's just, man, that guy would have to have been a He-Man, you know? There had to have been more than one person to do that one. And I believe that there were more than one person in several of these other girls. So is it any one? I don't think so. It just doesn't look like it. From what you guys and I watch and read, this does not, we don't think it's one person. Does anybody here think that it would be one person? Okay. Now I got to take my medicine. Hold on. Go back to here. I don't know. I do think, though, I don't know if I would call it a murder club as much as I would call it a murder cover-up. I don't think they were doing it for sport. I think they were doing it as opportunity. And so many of the girls knowing each other, and the possibility that girls knew things about other girls who were killed or other things that happened or other connections or other people that were involved, and now they're dead. That's one of the threads right there. The girls themselves are the thread. So now we move to Jesse Ewing. Jesse Ewing was a officer at the Jennings Sheriff's Department. There were two girls who were inmates at the time. They had been brought in on drug charges, as a lot of these girls who died were. They do not say anywhere in any of the information that I have found so far whether either of these two wound up dead. I do not know. But Jesse Ewing interviewed these girls, and they said that while buying dope from Billy Connor, Hannah Connor told her that Warren Gary bought the truck to discard of the evidence. That's what one of these witnesses said. Hannah said it didn't happen, that she never said that. Instead of an investigation into these statements, there turns out to be an investigation into Jesse Ewing. Hey, Ola Joe, good to have you here. Ewing gets fired because instead of sending the information that he receives from these witnesses up the chain of command in his own department, he feels it's best to hand it to somebody outside of the department. Hi, Bubby. You coming up? So he gives it to the FBI. Actually, he gives it to an investigator. And the investigator said that he has a contact with the FBI, and he gives it to the FBI. Ewing gets fired with charges of obstruction because he handed everything over to the FBI without informing the local law enforcement. In my opinion, the backlash that happens here over Ewing is this whole deep intermingling of things and issues for this whole area. Yep, he's here. He's now underneath my desk. And he must have gotten everything out because he did not bring his green toy with him. So I think he is done. He's just gonna settle. So, okay, that is where I am right now, and I already said what I thought. I will try. It's going to be very difficult for me without, like I said, having like a flow chart and saying this one was connected to this one and this one was connected to this one. But let me just say, the investigator that Ewing handed everything over to, let me think, I can't remember his name, was Menard. And Menard was connected to one of the victims. And then Menard was connected to crimes that happened in another county with some people that were connected to victims. Do you see what I'm saying? There's a whole thread here. Hey, Panda. Good to see you. You're off tomorrow. Yay for a day off. That's awesome. So all I've done now is just confuse you, I'm sure. And it is confusing. It is very confusing. So I wanted to talk a little bit about other news, okay? Hi, Leslie. Hello, everybody coming in. How about Cornholer? That's what I call him over here. That was something that Terry had said, and that stuck with me all this time. But Cornholer, supposedly he's set for trial August the 11th. Okay? I don't know if we're going to get there. Finally, if we're going to get there, who knows? But how about this Amazon stuff? Because this Amazon stuff is really getting... we knew there had to have been a reason why the lawyer wanted all this stuff, all these searches and stuff. He decided he really wanted the knife back, right? He ordered another one. There was an argument about the fact that they wanted that thrown out because the searches were technically after the murders. Now we find out he was ordering another one. Hey, Lulu. How's it going, Cindy Lulu? I mean, how nuts that he just decided, well, I need that back. I need a, a memento of what I did. So I'll just order a replacement. My God. So there's that. Lori Vallow's trial, it was supposed to start March 31st. But this guy is not smart. Not as smart as he thought he was, and not as smart as anybody else talked about him being. His family, for one. His family learned really quickly. This is a dweeb. That's exactly right. We had to know there was a reason they wanted it thrown out. There had to be. There had to be something else. Oh, good. Me too, a little bit. I'm coming to the end of my energy here just a little bit. I want to get through some a little bit more of this. But Lori Vallow, March 31st, she spars with the judge. She's representing herself, and she sparred with the judge a little bit. Yes. Did you watch the Dateline? The date with Keith Morrison? Wow. Wow. I, I was a little perturbed because I felt like the interview they did with Lori, on one hand, I wanted to hear more questions. I wanted him to question her more. But I also think that part of the reason why he doesn't is because of her attitude. If you saw it, you'd be like, how do you get a word in edgewise with her? How? How could he question her? Ugh. With the way she was sparring with him, I can't even with her. I wouldn't last 5 minutes in a room with Lori. I would not like her from the minute I walked in the room. There's just something about that woman, and it really came out in that interview. I think that was the real Lori that we're seeing. I think that is the woman that she's been all her life. I know. I thought of you, Nisi. I really did. But you know what his family said? Did you see what his family has said about that? I, it, they're saying, well, if we had known he was autistic, we'd have done more for him. So, yeah, I don't think the family knew. I think it's a way to get him out of it. Exactly. Exactly. A way to get him out of it. Crazy. I did look up to try to find out, I go back and I look at some of the things that we have talked about here. And one of the ones that was a very case that I put a lot of effort into was the Billy Wagner case, was the Piketon murders. And the father, Billy Wagner, supposed to go to trial May 5th of this year. However, there was a hearing in January. I talked about this a while back. I think I talked about it last month, that there was a hearing in January, and they have put his trial kind of on hold for a bit because they were going to sentence the other two that testified against the third, against George. George is the only trial we've had. The other two, the mother and the brother, pled guilty and testified against George, and they were supposed to testify against Billy. But they got sentenced, and everything got put on hold, and it has taken this long for them to be sentenced, and that somehow that put Billy's stuff back. So I don't really know if we're going to have his trial in May. I'm watching for that one because I want to see. I'm really hoping that he would plead guilty, but he hasn't, as far as I know, yet. If y'all find something, let me know. And the Stephen Avery thing, whatever happened on his appeal the other day, he did not win. Nothing. He has not won any of his appeals so far. Either him and Brandon, everything got turned over and then got turned back, and he's still in jail, and he has not won any of his appeals either. Oh, oh. I take some deep breaths. Does anybody remember the James Staley case that I talked about from Wichita Falls? He's the man that was convicted of killing his girlfriend's baby, and the girlfriend's ex was the MMA fighter from Wichita Falls. His case was overturned. And it's because of a technicality. That's nuts. No, I really actually think that Brandon did more than what he is saying he did. I think Brandon I think Brandon definitely helped Stephen. I'm not 100% sure that he did everything he said he did in the bedroom, but I definitely think that he helped him. I think it's entirely possible that he made the other things up. But yeah. And also, I got two more things to tell you. Mr. Fiber has jury duty again. So he will have jury duty on Monday. And I believe it's going to be the wife. I believe it's going to be Brian's wife, but I don't know for sure. He said that he had heard rumors on Facebook locally, that there might be more charges going to be brought against Brian, but I haven't seen anything about that. So I'm kind of trying to decide whether I may go with him Monday just to see what it is about. What do y'all think? I'm kind of thinking if I feel well enough that I will go. I'm sorry, Izzy. I have the same thing going on. This flu bug really has made me hurt. I am ready for my injections. Whatever it is I'm going to get. Injection, what a zapping, whatever they're going to do to me, I am so ready for it, but I don't even know when that's going to happen. But I feel for you. I know what that pain is like, and it sucks. Joan says go. Go to the trial. I think I will. Yeah. I didn't go the last time, but I feel a little stronger now that I have this out in the open about how I feel about everything. I feel like I could go. Her name is Andrea. No, I will. Well, I can. He can't. If he gets picked, he can't talk about the case. But I can go and I can talk about it. Absolutely, I can. Hey, Laura. Yeah, I'm really thinking I'm going to get up and go with him. And then the crime, y'all, doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Listen to this. It made national news, and that's why I'm telling y'all about it. You can look it up. It was on Law and Crime about a man from Louisiana who was a teacher that has just been arrested for taking pictures from students. Over 300 pictures of students. And it's in the parish where she lives. At the high school. Possible high school that those kids could be my grandkids could be going to. It's in that area. This was a I don't know, like an art teach, not an art teacher, not art, but I don't know how they do it there, but he was like a speech therapist or something like that. So yeah, alone with students in a room alone. That's usually how that works. I will keep you up to date when I can about that one. That one just happened. He just was just arrested yesterday. And I got to thinking about this, when my girls were in school, junior high, high school, even lower grades than that. I remember here in Texas that there was a law that any adult could not have bare feet in a vehicle with minors because that would be considered lewd and what do you call it? I want to say provocative, but provocative is not the right word. I always wore closed-toed shoes when I hauled them and their friends around. Let me just put it that way. This guy had them sending pictures of their feet, not just their feet, but that was his thing. He had a foot fetish of these kids, and he started out and he was paying them to send him pictures. Could be. It could be. I don't remember the name of the law, and I'm not even sure it's still a law here, but it was at the time. It would be like being indecent around the kids just for having bare feet. We're talking about Karen Reed. I have not. Yes, it could be. That could be the word. I'm just not completely sure. That's the one that I'm not caught up on. Are they going? They're going to go to a retrial. Have they? Something like that. Yes, that's kind of what I was going for. Yes. Have they set a date for her for a trial? The last thing that I saw was that something didn't go her way. Something did not go her way in some way, but I don't know what it was. Okay, you guys, any questions? Any more questions for me? Be watching tomorrow. I am going to pick a winner um, for Cheryl. The giveaway for Cheryl. I'll be picking that winner. And what else? I'm hoping to be on tomorrow evening, depending on how I'm feeling, how much energy I have. It's just been rough, y'all. It's been rough. It's been up and down. I have felt better and then felt yuck, and then felt better and then felt yuck. In April. Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to jury selection April 1st. Good night, Nisi. So glad to see you. I'm so glad to see all of you, and I thank you so much for joining me. We have been on this case for a little while, but I wasn't here for a few weeks, so it just makes it look like it was much longer. I don't know if we want to wrap this up. Do you guys want to wrap this up going into the next time that we meet? Are you feeling like wrapping up on this one or not? I mean, we have to keep in mind that these were not solved. These cases have not been solved. Are you going to do a live? Going to do trivia tomorrow night at 6 Pacific. What is that? Is that 8 Central? Absolutely. Everybody give yourself grace. I totally agree. Totally agree. Annie's over it. Okay. 9 Eastern, which is, I think that's 8 o'clock my time. I may be live. I don't know. We'll see. Unless I go earlier. I believe it's Paramount, but I don't think it's 12 episodes. I didn't think that it was that many. So here's what I will do. I will finish up with the docuseries, okay? And then I will add in just as many things as I can to help us to understand this. I think we all kind of get what was going on here. Oh, yes, absolutely. I agree. Yes, it helps, doesn't it? Okay, you guys, I also need to go, and I'm going with Dad tomorrow to Walmart. So depends on how that wears me out too. Because he has not had his helper there, but I think one day this week. So he may need me also. So we'll kind of see how it goes. If you see it go up, then I'm there for it. If not, yes, there we go. There is the link for Pam's. Is there anybody else that's on right now that we can send everybody to? Is there someone live that we can do a raid and send everybody over to? Can you all tell us if anybody is live right now? Good night, Lorna. Good night, Tank. Where is the bingo? Good night, Leanie. Good night, Jolene. Good night, Mary Ellen. Oh, I'm sorry I haven't laughed any more than I have tonight. I usually laughed much, much more, but I'm tired. I'm still on the struggle bus. Oh, Joan, I didn't know. I didn't know, Joan. I'm so sorry, honey. I'm sending you hugs. Thoughts and prayers are with you, Joan. I did not know. Oh. I knew that she had been in the hospital, but I did not know that she had passed. So I'm thinking about you. That's hard. Okay, we love you. You do what you got to do then, Joan. Absolutely. Okay, everybody. Good night. Love y'all. I'm going to play a little tune before I go. Y'all have a great weekend if I don't see ya.